Hi everybody, welcome to Simply Scuba. In today's video I'm going to be taking a closer look at the Mares EOS 32LRZ dive torch. So this is an incredibly powerful dive torch, 3200 lumens of bright white light. You've got an adjustable beam angle at the front, so you can pick and choose between a spotlight and a wide floodlight. You've got different power settings on the inside as well, so if you don't want that full beam, there's a low beam as well. There's also an SOS strobe mode as well. Rechargeable battery on the inside that you can chop up with the supplied USB cable. It just ticks a lot of boxes for divers who want a really powerful dive torch that they can adjust in the water and top up as they go on long dive trips. Let's take a closer look. So this is how it arrives in one of these EVA cases, semi-rigid protective cases. It's got a sleeve on the front, cardboard sleeve, and that's got all the information on the front, which is pretty handy. So there's two different extremes of beam angle, because it's a magnetic zoom. You can adjust the beam angle of the torch between a tight 12-degree spotlight and a wider 75-degree almost floodlight. Three different power settings: maximum, minimum, and flash. As a bit of a flash warning, if you do have photosensitive epilepsy, I am going to show it briefly. I'll let you know beforehand, but it does have that sort of SOS strobe. 2 hour 15 burn time, so that'll be at maximum power. It's got a fairly decent sized torch on the a battery inside of the torch. 3200 lumens, 3200 lumens. That's a very bright torch. USB rechargeable and a 7-hour charge time when you plug it in. Of course, that will depend on the power supply from the socket, I imagine. Otherwise, it's just barcode on the back and the part number and whatnot. On the inside, yeah, you have this semi-rigid EVA case. It's got a bit of bend and flex to it, but it is quite protective. A zippered entry. And then inside, you have the obligatory book of words, just how to and all that good stuff. You've got a couple of these anti-mold stickers. So this is the new type, the almost replacement to that that silica gel. Still can't eat it, but it helps to keep all the moisture out of it. Big torch. This is a 26800 lithium ion 3.7 volt, 5400 milliamp hour, 19.98 watt battery. Big battery, rechargeable battery, and you can recharge that inside of the torch by the USB cable. That is the USB cable. This is that micro SD? No, not SD. Micro USB. Sorry. But that's how you're going to recharge that battery inside of the torch. A replacement gasket, replacement O-ring. There'll be one fitted inside of the torch, so this is a second replacement if that one ever wears out. A USB. I keep saying USB, a wrist lanyard to hold onto the torch and keep it securely attached onto you if you ever drop it. And then the torch itself, we'll take a closer look at the torch, and then little insert, so you can remove that and repurpose that EVA case if you wanted to, or leave the insert and keep your torch nice and safe. So let me pop the battery in, make sure that's fully charged, and yeah, show you how to use the torch. So starting off at the head of the torch, so the head has a big single LED in the front, producing all of that bright white light, and just around this black band here, this is a rubbery silicone ring, so you can adjust the beam angle on the go in the water, and that basically moves that LED backwards and forwards inside of the head to adjust that beam angle between that wide floodlight and a tight spotlight. Just below that, you have the button activation. So this has a safety feature in it, in that to activate it and to disactivate it, you have to press it twice in rapid succession. If you just press it once, nothing will happen, but if you press it twice quickly, that activates the torch, and then whilst you're using it, pressing it twice switches off the torch. Just around that, there's a hazy battery level indicator ring, so that's got a color-coded LED underneath it, so that tells you roughly how much battery is left inside. So as that color changes, it lets you know where to top it up. Below that, main body of the torch has this crisscross hatching to give a little bit of grip. Decent size in your hand. It's quite big. It's a little bit front heavy, but it's not too bad. The center of gravity really is around where that button is. And then down at the bottom, this is how this end cap, you can unscrew that. I'll just note that it does have some 2 attachment points for lanyards, so you can really sort of clip things off onto that or attach a bolt snap, do whatever you want. The whole body of the torch, this is anodized aluminium, so it's relatively light. It's a bit of a heavy torch, but it's a bit of a powerful torch at the same time. But that end cap, if you unscrew that, the first thing that you'll see is that gasket, that sealing surface, and then it's attached by a little bungee cord to stop you from losing that. And right at the bottom, you have the recharging station. So use that USB cable, plug it into there, and that's how you're recharging that torch on the go. And it's got a little LED light indicator there to let you know when it's fully charged. Unscrew that, and that's how you get to the battery compartment, just by unscrewing that black section there. Putting it all back together, and I'll show you just how bright the torch is. So double press of that button, bum bum, and that switches on quite a lot of bright white light. This is in the floodlight, so it's got kind of soft edges. It's not even, it's not quite photo video quality, but for navigating and illuminating a majority of a dive site, it is pretty good. And then as you rotate that ring, you can focus it down onto a tight spotlight to really emphasize something, point something out, communicate underwater. It's a nice tight spotlight. You do get a bit of a corona around it as well, so you do get to see what's going on around that hotspot, but not quite as much as the floodlight. Press that button once, and that dials it down to the low power setting. So that's using up less battery. That's going to extend your battery life, but also lowers the power settings. And then if you press that button again, it goes through to the strobe power setting, which I'm going to do now. So if you do suffer from photosensitive epilepsy, look away now. Press it, and it's a fairly obnoxious flashing strobe light. Press it again, it goes back to full power mode, and every time you push that button, it just cycles through those 3. If you press it twice in quick succession, bum bum, it switches the torch off. So that's a bit of a safety feature, in that if the torch is stowed away in a pocket or in your kit bag, if something presses that button, it's not going to activate the torch. So you have to press it twice to activate it. And that's the EOS 32LRZ dive torch. So who's this for? This is for a diver who needs a really powerful torch, either for something to pierce through incredibly murky water. If you're diving in some pretty horrible visibility and you need that power and that spotlight to be able to pierce through so that other divers can see you and you can kind of see what's going on ahead of you. Or if you just need a ton of light, you don't have to use that full power setting all the time. You can use it on the lower power setting as just a general, actually pretty powerful dive torch, but in an emergency, to get someone's attention, you can step it up to that 3200 lumens and really stand out when you're on the surface. It's a sensible size. It's a little bit big compared to a lot of the competitors nowadays, but it's not ridiculously big. You'd probably struggle to stow it away in some pockets nowadays, especially a BCD pocket. But if you're going on a night dive and it's going to be in your hand anyway, doesn't really matter. But it's not something that you can surreptitiously stow away inside of a pocket or just clip off to a D-ring. That's going to be fairly noticeable. But well put together. I do like the looks of it. It's just got that matte silver finish to it. The build quality is very nice, very fine, and yeah, as far as a dive torch goes, yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes, especially with that zoom feature where you can adjust the beam angle. Most torches nowadays are still just spotlight or floodlight. You just have to choose between the two, but with this one you can change it on the go in the water depending on what you need at that time. Now, there's going to be more information on our website, simplyscuba.com. There's going to be a link up in the description below so you can read up about it and buy it from us at simplyscuba.com. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.